Well, let me tell you a story about kind of a long time in the making. So, when I was young, my grandmother, her name was Pipestem, and she was always telling me, saying something about, you know, if you do this, something could happen to you. I know a lot of the people have family like that, or elders that, you know, don't be, you know, making mistakes in our dance. Something might happen to you. And I can remember one time my dad was telling me, and she said something to me about that. She got after me because we were at our dance at Gray Horse, and I said something. Well, I saw them out there. They were there. I was taught she was saying something, and I said, no, I saw them. And she got after me so hard, and she said, do not be looking out there. Do not be looking out there where you're dancing. And you know, enough to make me really, you know, wondered why she was getting after me so bad. So later, my dad was telling me, he said, just don't do that. You know better than that. I'm just telling you, don't look around out there. You might see something you don't want to see. And so, as I got older, I just knew they said that. Don't look around out there. So it was hard when you're younger, or even an adult, for whatever reason, when you're dancing, to try to look around, not want to look around outside of where we dance. And so, I remember my dad, I got a little bit older, and I said, remember when you told me not to look around out there? He said, yeah. He said, don't be doing that. And I said, well, tell me about that. Tell me why that is. And he said, well, he said, when our drum keeper at Gray Horse walks to the drum and he hits the drum one time, he said, do you know why they do that? I said, no, it just starts the dance. He said, no, when that happens, spirits gather there. And so that's our time. And so there's a lot of things that you just, when that happens, when that drum keeper hits the drum for the first time, he said, spirits gather there. He said, why do you think it is if somebody drops a top feather or their otter eye? He said, why is it you have to give away so significantly? And I said, well, you told me that, and my grandma used to say this, that if that one of those things falls and hits the ground, it means someone's not being remembered. And he said, you understand that? You know, he was looking at me seriously about it. I said, yeah, I know, I understand that, but you know, I don't know. I'm trying to understand how what all that means. He said, well, that's what it means. He said that you know, this is a time when spirits gather. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just that you need to understand that's a part of what's going on here. He said, other people, they got different ways and different beliefs about what's happening here. I'm just telling you what I've been taught by, and trying to tell you why your grandma said that, and why she got so angry at you for looking out there. So, I've always thought about that, about kind of the spiritual element of our dance, because that's what my grandma used to say. And it's not just a time of enjoyment and hearing songs, but our drum brings this time. That's what she used to say. And so my dad reinforced that. He had a better understanding of that than I do. And then my dad used to say, my sister can tell you that, you know, the way he taught us was no person should carry their child into the dance. I don't know, Marvin Stepson knows about that. He used to say that because the spirits might think you want to give your child away. So don't carry a child out there. So you won't see our family do that. Not everybody believes that, but you can, at least our Kirk Pipestem family, that somebody will kind of get after you if you do that. Don't do that. And so I can tell you one time, but again, they told me don't do that, but don't be scared of it. Don't be worried about that. You don't have to, you know, they're not there to get you, or there's something powerful going on here, and these spirits want to be there, part of that. But sometimes, if you don't want to see that, you need to understand about kind of no need to engage that, but you don't want to see something you don't want to see. Well, I can remember one time, this was recently, I had to think about this. So I was dancing and I looked out there, and it was for no reason, no good reason. And I saw somebody standing there that I knew that had recently passed on. And when I saw them, I thought, can that be? Is that? No, that's not. And so I thought, I'm going to dance around again and see if that's, it probably just looks like somebody that I know. And I came around again, and they were standing there with a very content look. That's what I remember. And I thought, now can that possibly be? Because I was trying to reconcile with myself that, is that real, or is that me thinking something? Is my grandma in my mind, and I'm thinking these lessons about don't be looking out there? And then the next time I came around and they weren't there. And so I knew not to be worried about that. And when I I remember the expression on that person's face, who I knew really well, I knew that they were a good family. I knew well enough to know they were a good person, highly thought of person. And but I had to question myself a little bit. Who is there? And so, these things we talk about that are, I can remember my Aunt Virginia Primo, she'd say, do not open those blinds there after a certain time, because that's when little people go by. Now, I can remember thinking that she's just trying to get me to behave a certain way, right? And my grandma said some of these things too. That's why I thought they're just trying to get a child to behave a certain way, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to do that, because I don't know whether I buy that or not. But I know that my grandma, when she got mad at me at that time, she wasn't kidding. This was not about trying to keep me, make me behave or not do something because she didn't want me running outside, but she got upset at me. And then my dad reinforced it, and then I know what I saw. But I also knew that it wasn't scary to me. It didn't scare me. Because I kind of felt like, well, I understand what this is now. It's not something to be afraid of. It's something that I've been told of my whole life. And so I kind of feel like since time I was a little boy, that they were preparing me to see that I might see something. So I'm not Chris Hill, I'm no elder like Chris Hill. But maybe they were telling me something so I know and be ready in case something happened like that. And now, it's not like and I wasn't afraid, so it's not a scary story. It's not scary because I believe what they told me. I believe what they taught us about our dads and our ceremony. And so that's what I experienced. So I don't think it wasn't scary to me. It was kind of, I had to think about what was happening. And so now I kind of know what they were saying. And it wasn't, they weren't just trying to get me to behave. They were